Welcome back to Yev's Builds, and today we're replacing this manual transmission into an SMG. Let me explain. To make it clear, if you're a follower of this channel, you know that this is my daily driver. It is a manual transmission. As you can tell, it's manual. Not too long ago, first and second gear completely just went out. Wouldn't work, no shatter, no weird clunky noise or anything, but they're just gone. So I figured it might be the synchros, which I figured I would replace, but as it turns out, according to my research, there's absolutely nothing online. There's no replacement parts, there's nothing for these transmissions. Unfortunately, I had to get another one. Since manual transmissions are kind of rare and like 3 times the price, I figured I'll get an SMG, put my manual bell housing on it, because in theory, that's how you do a manual swap on the SMG one. So that's what we got going on today. This is the original manual transmission, that is the SMG. This one has less miles, and since it's an SMG, it's actually more reliable in the sense of that there's no human error. There's no misshifting your gear, there's no grinding your gear, so they're more reliable. We're gonna be changing out a few parts on it from my manual one. Stay with us. So originally what you saw disintegrate, right? It actually didn't disintegrate. It's just when we were removing the side bolts, right? We actually removed this top 6mm hex nut, and we weren't supposed to, because apparently that bolt holds this whole mechanism on. It's all good. We found forums of people doing all this stuff, so we put it back the way it's supposed to be. This is the spring tension. This is how it leans against that wall, and then it goes behind this little nub right here. So that's the spring tension on it. It's all good now. So before you move on and try to replace all the seals, if you're unsure if this transmission was good or not, like in my case, I just bought it secondhand, it's a good idea to just put all the little, the shifter components back on, just to double check all the gears, so we didn't put any oil in it or anything, but it's a good idea to just kind of put a neutral, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and reverse. Seems like everything's working. We should be good. We're moving on. Before we put the bell housing back on, we shall replace the shaft seal. This is what it is. There's a part number, okay? That right there, that's the shaft seal. And interesting thing about this one is that it's supposed to be coming out from this way when you're pulling it out. We'll pull it out from the opposite side. We'll push it out with some tools, and then the new one we will push it in from here by using this 36mm socket, and it fits right in. We'll gently just push it into its position. There you have it. And you see, that is the seating position of it. So now you take the new one, you use this 36mm socket. Make sure the teeth aren't too big, otherwise it's just going to be eating out the rubber seal itself and the little spring that's on it. Once you start hearing the metallic sound, it's going to be a different sound once you're hitting it. Once it sounds a little bit different, more metal-y, that's when you can be sure that you did it. Check with your finger that it's seated properly on the inside, on the wall, and you're good with this one. So what we're going to do now is actually we're going to degrease both surfaces, clean them all up, and then we're going to use this Mega Black sealant, right? We're going to create a sealant. We're going to beat it all around every little hole. We're going to beat it all around. We're going to let it sit there for a little bit, and then we're going to torque it down, and then we're going to let it dry up and cure for about 24 hours until we start putting it all back together and replacing all the parts. So let's go. Check it out. So after you beat it, right, try to do it as best as you can. Be pretty generous with it, just so that you wouldn't have any sort of air bubbles anywhere, you know what I mean? Because when the bell housing sits in, it's gonna compress it, obviously, and it's gonna create that gasket all the way around in that thick layer or whatever. Next up, we need to transfer this sensor from the manual one onto the SMG. As you can see, the SMG doesn't, it's a block, right? It's just a stopper. There's a hole in there, but there's no sensor connected or anything. So when you remove the sensor, this is kind of a crucial moment before we tap it in. You want to save everything from the manual one and transfer it onto the SMG because the sizes are a little bit different in there. You're gonna take this little spring, you're gonna keep it. You're gonna take this little stopper in there, you're gonna keep it because it's actually, the SMG one doesn't have it. And this little sleeve portion, we're gonna keep this guy also, just because I'll show you right now, in the SMG it's a little bit of a different size. The spring in the SMG is actually the same size, so that doesn't really matter. And if you can see, they are different sizes, right? So it's important that you transfer the manual one onto the swap that you're doing. And this one you can put it away, and that's pretty much it. If you look inside, there is no thread on there, right? And that's why we gotta tap it in right now. It's an M14 by 1.5. That's the same as this bolt size, right? The thread on the bolt. Yeah, let's get to it. Just put a little bit of oil on it. Be careful, be real careful with it. You know, you wanna avoid shavings going into the transmission, so put some sort of really sticky lubricant on it. When you're tapping it in, do one full rotation, and then a half rotation back, and then do one full rotation, half a rotation back, and then just keep going until it kind of stops itself and you have the correct amount of thread. That should be easy. So you know you're done threading it once the tapper actually stops, because that way the little cylinder that's inside, it's a smaller size and it'll be different and it's just not going to fit to the thread. So if the transmission's standing up vertically this way, this cylinder, right, there's a flat spot and there's a rounded off spot. The cylinder has to go in this way. So make sure it's flat in there and then just kind of push it in. I mean, the bolt will push it in all the way on its own, but then you put the spring in and you put the little pin in, right? It's got to go into that cylinder. Just like that. Thread it real quick. And then, just as a precaution, I will put some sealant maker on the side of this. The same thing we used to put the bell housing on. Same sort of deal. Just so it'll sit in, and it'll be nice and easy, and just in case, as a prevention, that no oil comes out, and we should be good. Place this seal, which is right under this guy. You're gonna need a long 36mm socket, preferably an impact or something, because you're gonna have to hold this somehow so it wouldn't twist. A good idea is to put a whole bunch of WD-40, and that's what we did way before, a whole day before, and it turned out pretty good. There you go. See, you don't need a gym to get strong. And there's the seal. So Dennis got a crazy idea.
This is for trampoline springs.
Apply a little pressure and just go all the way around. Counterclockwise only. Just kidding, doesn't matter. Loosen it up everywhere. Look at us. Look at us, we made it.
We made it, Mom.
Solid. Now we'll clean it up, put a new one in, and get going. As you've seen maybe in our previous videos and a bunch of our videos like this, when you change a seal, kind of lube it up on the sides a little bit with some oil, put it back on, really. You want it to go in as even as possible. As long as it bites in just a little bit, it should be pretty simple after that. So before we put this this whole mechanism back on, we're gonna try to replace this seal also. There's no video on this, so we're just gonna have to improvise. The idea is that we're gonna kind of do what we did on this one. We're gonna take a little razor like that, we're gonna cut off the excess piece that we're not gonna need, where it touches upon the shifter itself, and then we're gonna take a little pick and hook that we made, and hopefully that should do the trick. That is the part number of the seal. my manual one. Take this ring clip, put the pin through, and you want to clip it. Well, that is nice and secure. We are in neutral. I'm gonna fill it up with fluid afterwards, after it's already in. But this is the OEM transmission fluid. It does say it's lifetime fluid, but when have you heard of oil being lifetime? And now that the transmission is fully cured and everything is back on it and everything's sealed up, we will be putting the transmission back in the car. And I'm gonna put it on a time lapse. I'm just kidding, we're not doing that, it's gonna take way too long. If you wanna see how to put it back on, there is a video I've done earlier about a clutch replacement. The next clip you'll see is us driving the new SMG manual transmission swap. Yeah, hopefully it works out. Moment of truth, we're about to have our first drive. The car started up, everything's good, we're kinda low on gas. No codes or anything at this point, so that's a good sign. Oh dude, I'm a little bit nervous, I gotta admit. A little nervous. Okay. Ooh, I'm not used to this clutch again. Okay, we're in first. She's rolling. She is rolling. Oh, dude, I missed this car so bad. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll just go with back roads first, huh?
Rip it. Burn up.
Okay. Second gear felt a little bit weird. Okay, we're in third so far. 3 worked. That's a good sign, dude. Yes. Oh, I'm excited, dude. Dude, it would be funny if all 6 work, but the reverse doesn't work.
Oh my gosh.
Because look, dude, you buy it secondhand, like it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like I didn't see this transmission in use before I bought it.
Yeah.
It has less miles, but the dude claimed it was good, and I just kind of took a shot at it. So far, we're good though. Oh, dude, the steering feels great, man. All right, first, again, good.
Nice and smooth.
6th works. Reverse.
Let's go. What do you mean it's race mode, bro?
It's race mode, dude. Dude, I have to say, this thing feels smoother than the original transmission that was on here.
No shit.
Like, dude, previous owners, dude, they screwed this thing up in just multiple ways, and it's unfortunate, but we're here and we're gonna clean her up even more, dude. Dude, she really does feel good, man. A little underpowered compared to the M5. I'm so used to the M5 at this point. But I mean, all gears are working. Oh, dude, this is so worth it. Bro, manual transmissions for this car used with roughly 100,000 miles are like 1,500 bucks. You can get an SMG for 300, 350, 400, sure, with less miles. You do the labor yourself. This is definitely worth it, I said.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
This is good, man. Hey, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and all that, and we're gonna keep coming out with more content. The V10 is still coming along, so
Gang,
stay
gang.
tuned. Woo!